How to be a Republican around Democrats. Republicans tend to have strong beliefs that conflict with Democrats. Most Republicans seek right-leaning and conservative traditional goals, a contrast to the left-leaning, liberal nontraditional proposals of Democrats. You may struggle with being a proud Republican among Democrats, especially if you want to foster contrasts in political debate without getting into an argument or conflict. Method 1: Tolerating and understanding Democrats. 1. Make eye contact and act friendly. Though you may not share the same goals as Democrats, you can still seek to maintain a demeanor around them that is friendly and positive. This way, you can all still interact and get along, despite your political differences. When you first see a Democrat, greet him or her in a courteous manner and show the respect of a handshake or a wave when you say, "Hello." Maintain eye contact with them to show them you are willing to engage in a positive way with them. 2. Demonstrate open body language. You can use open body language around Democrats so you do not seem standoffish, defensive, or confrontational. Though you will not be all smiles all the time with Democrats, you need to engage in peaceful disagreement without rancor or being especially unfriendly. Open body language means keeping your arms relaxed at your sides and turning your body toward the person you are speaking to, rather than crossing your arms or turning your back. You will seem more involved if you maintain eye contact when speaking to the person, and nod to show you are listening. 3. Appear non-intrusive and non-accusing. You should feel comfortable wearing a Republican Party pin in public or wearing a shirt that shows your support for Republicans, as this is your right under the laws of free speech. However, you can still show your support for your political party without being overly confrontational or scornful toward Democrats. Appearing non-confrontational will allow you to still interact with Democrats with respect and tolerance. If you are wearing or carrying items that support the Republican Party, do not wave them in the faces of the Democrats around you. Wear and display these items openly but also respectfully so you do not appear inflammatory. It is important to avoid raising your voice loudly when speaking to Democrats. Respect the other's personal spaces and avoid getting right up in their faces. Instead, stand at a polite, arm's-length distance when possible as you engage in a healthy discussion or debate about politics. 4. Ask thoughtful questions. Though you have difficulty accepting the beliefs and policies of Democrats, you can still show a reasonable interest in what they say, to answer their points. A big part of having a lively, healthy political discussion is being willing to ask authentic questions of the other person, not just rhetorical questions, to which you do not intend to get an answer. This will further the conversation and allow you both to acknowledge the other's points, or at least listen to each other. For example, you may ask, tell the Democrat, "I want to hear why the death penalty is seen as wrong, or why would one oppose the death penalty? I am curious about your stance on this." You may also say, "Tell me more about supporting abortion. I would like to know how you came to your stance on this issue." 5. Look for points of agreement. Though you likely will not agree on key points with the Democrat as a Republican, you may start to notice some points of agreement. Finding these small points of agreement can help you to avoid being in continual, unproductive conflict with the Democrat. For example, you may share and discuss the general belief that people should be guaranteed liberty and freedom in the country they live in. Or, you both agree on the other person's exercise of free speech, though you may disagree on many political goals. You may also be a Republican who agrees with traditional marriage as a conservative, but realize the Democratic stance on gay marriage was supported by a U.S. Supreme Court majority. Or, you might be a Republican who does not entirely agree with your party's stance on abortion or immigration. Method 2: Defining your Republican beliefs. 1. Determine your stance on hot-button issues. As a self-identifying Republican, you should try to define what exactly you stand for. This will then help you better explain your beliefs to others and discuss them with confidence. You should consider your stance on hot-button issues in the political world, such as military spending, abortion, immigration, and universal health care. These issues will likely come up in conversation with Democrats, so you should determine how you feel about them. Though you may be Republican, you may not agree with everything your party stands for or find that you do not have a simple cut and dry stance on every issue. For example, you may support military spending but disagree with U.S. military presence in the Middle East. Or you may support private health care for all but disagree with the practice of abortion. 2. Research your beliefs. Once you have determined where you stand on certain issues, you should do your due diligence by researching more about your stance. You may look up the issue online and read articles from several different news outlets. Try to focus on credible news sources. Though they may be biased towards Republican views, they should still use fact, objective sources, and scientific evidence to address an issue. You may also watch several television news programs that discuss a certain issue. Try to listen to different experts on an issue and use critical thinking to dissect what the experts have to say. You should also try to read personal essays written by individuals who have first-hand experience with an issue, such as a first-person narrative by a woman who had an abortion. Or, you may read a personal essay about gay marriage written by a gay person. Getting information from someone who has actually experienced the issue can help you be better informed on the issue. 3. Be prepared to discuss your beliefs with confidence. You should also be prepared to discuss your beliefs around others and consider how you would bring up key points in the discussion. You want to be able to talk about your political beliefs with confidence and skill. This requires using fact, verified information, and passion for the issue to communicate well with others. You may try writing down your political beliefs in a journal or on a piece of paper so you have a better sense of where you stand. You may pretend that you are addressing a Democrat in your writing and consider how you might approach the discussion with them. Method 3. Discussing politics respectfully. 1. Be an active listener. Though a discussion about politics with a Democrat as a Republican can get pretty heated, you can practice active listening. Being an active listener will allow you to have a pointed political discussion with the Democrat without resorting to personal put-downs or anger. Being an active listener means giving your attention, not just waiting to speak. Avoid interrupting or talking over the person's statements. When the person pauses speaking, you might then repeat back an issue you believe the person has raised to you. You may say, "What I heard was," or "I think that means." The person can then confirm that you have repeated back their words or intentions correctly. Then, you can respond to their viewpoints accurately. Accuracy can encourage the Democrat to actively listen to you so the conversation becomes more give and take. 2. Use I statements. Avoid saying you or you people, as this might come across as, "You are putting words in my mouth." Or you are generalizing, painting with a broad brush. Instead, you should use I when talking about your political beliefs and ideals, as this will show you stand by what you are saying. For example, you may say, "As a Republican, I believe abortion should not be legal. I am pro-life." Or you may say, "As a Republican, I support the death penalty. I agree with the party's stance on the death penalty and law enforcement." Or say, "I do not support sanctuary cities, unsecured, or open borders, nor birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants." When you are responding to the Democrat, avoid saying, "You are wrong about everything," or "You are all bleeding hearts." Instead, focus on I statements and do not make generalizations about other people's beliefs, which may vary. Hard disagreements may seem accusatory, but may be unavoidable. 3. Focus on what you know. It can be tricky to separate emotion from fact during political discussions, especially among opposing parties. You will need to support your beliefs with facts and statistics from valid sources. Bring up what you know in the discussion to demonstrate your point. Assumptions about a political event or a democratic policy during the discussion may seem unfair. Though your facts will often be logically biased towards the Republican view of things, using research and facts will show the Democrat that you are trying to be informed on the specifics of the topic. If you are unsure about a specific fact or detail, do not make an assumption or get defensive. Be willing to admit you were unsure or that you do not know all the details. This will show the Democrat that you want to base your views on knowledge and to support your views on the topics under discussion. 4. Demonstrate empathy for the other person's point of view. You can make an effort to try to show another side of a policy or issue to the Democrat from your perspective, if only as an exercise in empathy. Putting yourself in the opposing party's shoes can help you nurture tolerance and openness in the other's perspective. Empathy can also help to foster a discussion that is respectful and productive, rather than a shouting match. Demonstrating empathy can also show the Democrat that you are helping them to understand and to see their views in relation to your logic. Often, political conflicts and issues arise when both sides become rigid and close themselves off from listening and presenting views calmly in a discussion. Having empathy for others can help to counteract this, as you want to help them to see it another way, with empathy for their possible misunderstanding of your point of view. 5. Avoid swearing or cursing. You can prevent the conversation from descending into an argument by leaving any angry language, like swearing or cursing, at the door. Try to use language that is cordial, rather than language that could show anger or repulsion. If you feel the need to swear or curse, take a deep breath instead or clear your throat. You may also excuse yourself from the conversation for a few moments if you feel you cannot stop yourself from swearing or cursing. If you feel you are getting too heated or upset during the discussion, you may step away and take a breather. Remove yourself the discussion temporarily and take some time alone if you start to feel too aggressive or angry. 6. Agree to disagree. Despite your sincere efforts, you and the Democrat just may not be able to agree on certain issues due to your political beliefs. As a Republican, you tend to have beliefs counter to a Democrat, and no amount of healthy discussion may shift or change that. Eventually, you may both have to agree to disagree on several issues. You may be able to move on to discussions about things other than politics. Keep in mind that though you may have to agree to disagree with the Democrat, you can still be friendly and open towards them. Disagreement and opposing viewpoints are part of what living in a free country with laws protecting free speech is all about. Being tolerant and respectful of others, regardless of their political affiliation, will allow you to get along and interact in healthy ways.